people walk in and they're like, is this a tattoo shop? Like, it actually doesn't sound like a traditional tattoo shop anymore.
The machine's so quiet, we're gonna have to add in like fake tattoo noise.
It'll be like, if you're Japanese, it's like, once you start using electricity, you've already sold out, right?
I feel like Taki and Tomo's tattoos really reflect their personalities. Taki's a very strong-minded person. What you see is what you get. If he's tattooing a dragon, it's a dragon, you know, and it's a huge dragon, and it's a gorgeous dragon.
With Japanese tattooing, we're talking about the history and the culture of a nation.
He was the bridge between America and Japan. He's put out books. He's done crazy art shows. He's done museum exhibitions.
You work through the fatigue, blood, sweat, maybe some tears, but you must persevere.
It was groundbreaking for the Japanese-American community.
When you look at a Tomo tattoo, you understand there's a lot of depth to it. Everything he does is very deliberate.
I think he obeys enough of the traditional rules and then breaks enough of them to have created his own style.
I think Horitomo is at like a next level. Ooh, I can't even try to describe it.
To me, it's just inspirational. As far as them in America being ambassadors for Japanese tattooing, I couldn't think of two better people to do that.
You can throw your shirt on there. I don't want to get ink on it. All right. You don't have a seat, sir? Yes, sir.
Taki works in a more pared down, bolder style Japanese tattoo. Solid color, solid background, real clean lines, and he does it right.
What color can you start going?
Red and gold, just to match the samurai. I'm not like the graceful guy. I'm not the super detailed guy. I just want my pieces to have impact. Maybe part of this is being raised in America and my love for American traditional, but I love the boldness and the simplicity of American traditional, and I'm trying to find a balance there because I like that power. When we petitioned to bring Horitomo here, we got him an O1 visa, which is a person of extraordinary talent. I felt like it was something exciting for tattooing.
で、ここは僕の仕事場なんだけど、もちろん日本はこう靴を脱ぐ習慣があるんで。
He was such a powerhouse of energy and art that whatever he did, he was good at. He has so much to say. I think in 5 lifetimes, he wouldn't run out of art.
There's definitely a mystique around him. And I feel like that mystique doesn't go away once you start getting tattooed by him. I feel like it builds.
Okay, so go ahead. Yeah.
When you look at a Tomo tattoo, it's got bright colors, crisp lines, and is extremely powerful.
There's really a few influencers in the world, and I think Horitomo is definitely one of them.
Feels a lot different.
Yeah? How was it?
It's good.
Good?
I like the sound.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, it's
That's
fun.
good, yeah.
Yeah.
He really does act as my older brother because I'll constantly pester him with questions. You know, can you look at this drawing and that sort of thing.
They are intertwined. I feel like they need each other. They just have that kind of chemistry.
普段書いてるのは重要だと思って。やっぱりその日本の入れ墨やってると勉強してるとやっぱりその日本の考え方とか伝統的な考え方とか歴史とかそういうのはを理解するのは重要なので、なんかそういうところからやっぱりアイデアが引っ張ってくる感じ。
Growing up as a Japanese American, I think there was always a calling, a romanticism, a desire to know more about Japanese tattooing. When I was in junior high, high school time, I started reading the Tattoo Times by Ed Hardy. That's when I first saw the work of Horiyoshi III. I don't think any Japanese tattooer will ever have the impact that Horiyoshi III has had on the world. To me, he's the Ed Hardy of Japan.
Taki and Horitomo, the apprentice with Horiyoshi III, which was probably got to be one of the most incredible experiences you could have. Japanese tattooing is one of the great tattoo art forms. It has that foundation on tradition. So that's always going to give it a backbone and more soul, and it's going to make it timeless.
We try to do as much as we can where the whole suit tells a cohesive story.
この絵柄は、道成寺って言ってその清姫女の人がお坊さんに恋をしてそのお坊さんを追いかけていくうちに蛇になって最後にはそのお坊さんがこういう鐘お寺にある鐘なんですけどその中に隠れた。
He obeys enough of the traditional rules and then breaks enough of them to have created his own style. I think in Japan, a lot of the older generation, like tattoos weren't something you showed. It's widely believed that these forms were originally made so that tattoos could be hidden easier under kimonos. At this stage, it's more of just like a look.
We just don't have the good image in Japan, including my parents. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They hated it when I started tattooing.
I think the origin of anti-tattoo sentiment in Japan has to do with the fact that the government at certain points in history used it to mark criminals.
Are other people in your family tattooed?
No, not really, no.
And here we have this art form that is loved by everyone all over the world except for the Japanese people. I think it's very important for me as a tattooer that I impart some sense of knowledge to the client. And I think as part of Japanese tattooing, like, it's a necessary requirement. The samurai that I chose for Garrett's back is Musashibo Benkei. He's an actual real historical figure, and he was said to be really big. Garrett's a big guy, and I've always kind of felt that tattoos should sort of fit and reflect the person that they're on. And so when he asked me about doing his back, I was like, you know who I think we should do is Benkei, so I thought it was a perfect fit. Garrett, do you remember how long this took?
This one took 50 hours.
Okay, 50 hours, yeah. Anything you want to say, Garrett?
You can put your pants back on.
Okay, thanks, buddy.
It's not torture. It's fine.
If you want to, I can open this if you want to film from that side as well.
There you go.
Oh, well, thank you.
Friendly neighbor.
I think my wife and I are one of those couples that, you know, like, we spend all our time together. We travel together, we get tattooed together, we do everything together. In a lot of ways, like, maybe we are very much like those traditional Japanese tattooers where a lot of times the wives were involved, like mixing ink. You know, you work as a team. She helps with everything around here.
State of Grace as a shop, I feel like, is very eclectic. We kind of offer everything. I feel like it's a really comfortable place to get tattooed in. Even women that don't get tattoos, that get their eyebrows done by me, feel like it's a very relaxing environment. It's an open space. There really aren't cubicles, so I feel like it's a community-based tattoo environment where people are just kind of hanging out and having a good time.
Every time that I come in to get tattooed, I feel like I'm able to take away something else from it, you know? I feel like I'm learning about Japanese culture.
I remember when Brittany asked about it, I actually made her come back a week later to make sure that she really was serious about it.
Small things like that showed me like, wow, he respects his craft enough to say, I'm not gonna mess around with anybody who's not as serious as I am.
When we opened State of Grace in 2002, I was still a fairly young tattooer, but it was important for my master in Japan. Like, he was like, you need to have a shop out there, and you should have a shop dedicated to Japanese tattooing. And I think Horitomo and I have really tried to build that. We've been fortunate to have some great artists come here and work. And over time, the shop just kind of expanded to where we have people that are specializing in styles other than Japanese tattooing. You know, we have Sefa doing Polynesian style tattooing. Mike does a lot of black and gray and Chicano stuff. Tyler does like a lot of Americana traditional. Colin, to be honest, can do everything. He's one of those anomalies where he can do a Japanese back piece, a black and gray portrait, you know, Americana traditional piece, and they all look correct.
I started here as a client before anything else. Taki happened to need a new graphic designer, so I showed him my portfolio, kind of one thing led to another, and I started apprenticing.
I feel like apprentice is a weird way to say it because I feel like he's far surpassed me. And I think that's ultimately what it should be. Like, you shouldn't teach someone for financial gain. You should teach someone because you think they're going to be a better tattooer than you. You know, you can't teach someone just because you need a shop person for free. Very early on in my career, I got my back tattooed by Horiyoshi III, and he took me on as an apprentice. I was given a golden opportunity. And I remember even asking him, like, how am I gonna learn how to do this Japanese stuff? Like, there's so much to it. And he was like, well, that's what I'm here for. And that's what a master teaches an apprentice.
初めて僕が堀高に会ったのが98年東京で、スクラッチアディクションで働いてた時にターキーが遊びに来ました。でもターキーはその時に堀吉先生の弟子で勉強してたと思います。
あ、マジ？
そうよ。
I don't remember that.
あ、そう。なんか面白いやつだなって思った感じから変わってるっていう。
Well, I remember when Horitomo first went from Washo and became Horitomo and joined the family as our senior apprentice. I think the human side of me was a little bit worried and slightly jealous because we all knew of Washo. Even in America, we all knew him by reputation.
横浜の堀吉先生のところに弟子入りして、その時に堀友っていう名前に変えました。
Horitomo was tattooing for I think 10 years before he met Horiyoshi. Here's a guy that established his whole career on American traditional tattooing, and now he's starting from scratch.
He wanted to go to the top, so he apprenticed with one of the greatest Japanese tattooers that are living now, and he took what he learned from him and just added his own flavor to it. You know, he's doing things that nobody's really done yet.
Horitomo has a 3 to 4 year waiting list right now, and we're to the point where I'm asking people to write physical letters and have them mail them in, just to kind of weed out people that, you know, just make the phone call and get on the list and then, you know, kind of waste everybody's time.
The actual teachings of how to do hand tattooing are pretty basic principles. It's more that you have to have the perseverance to actually continue in that style. I think that's another reason why I really respect Horitomo's dedication, because it's like going from having a motorcycle to a bicycle. You'll get to the same place, it's just gonna take you a lot longer and you're gonna have to work a lot harder for it, but maybe you'll appreciate that journey more. So one thing I was gonna say that's really nice about our shop location is we're in the middle of Japantown here in San Jose. Being on the second floor allows us to be in the middle of it, but you know, a little bit off the beaten path. With State of Grace, one of our points was that we wouldn't advertise. Like, I don't really want the kind of clients that look at Yelp or want to look in a phone book. I want people that like seek us out. I think it's really important that we find the right clients, because essentially you're entering into some sort of a relationship. Anyone can walk into a shop and get their neck tattooed on a drunken Friday night, but to get like a back piece, to get a sleeve, you're talking multiple visits and a lot of trust on both sides. Right now, one of my longtime clients, he has a full bodysuit for me. I think I've tattooed him for over a decade. What's up, dude? Good. He competes, he teaches.
There you go.
He's also a CrossFit instructor.
Let's go, Wilson. Open up. There we go. We got 10 seconds. Give it everything you got. Time. Good job, guys.
Good job, okay? Good job. I started with just a sleeve in remembrance of my brother and went to the left side for myself. I was reading all his books and stuff, and I was just like, I really was fascinated with the bodysuit.
We both like the idea of doing a phoenix, so it's a little bit maybe like unorthodox, but you know, I think.
But it pops very well.
Peter's bodysuit shows a lot of different parts of my career, just because I tattooed him over a 7-year period. This design is actually a design drawn by Horiyoshi III. When you're a Japanese apprentice, it's very normal and almost sometimes required to use your master's designs. I think I will always carry a lot of gratitude and respect for Horiyoshi III, but since then, you know, I've chosen not to use his designs as a show of respect since I've left. But I think this right here sort of captures that moment in time. Like, showing that guy Peter's back was actually like kind of a big deal for me.
Yeah, you seemed a bit emotional.
Yeah, just because certain tattoos mark certain times in my life, and you know, things change in life, you know. There definitely is a lot of emotion there. You call somebody father for 10 years, and then that relationship, you know, inevitably ended. I think it's very hard for me to describe being a member of a Japanese tattoo family. There's so many mixed emotions, and I think in one sense, like I felt this profound sense of honor and that I was part of a legacy of something larger than myself. At the same time, there's the weight of that, there's responsibility. I was often asked early on, why would he choose you? You just started tattooing. Why wouldn't he want someone more experienced? And I think that the question and answer is all there. He wanted somebody that was moldable, and also he was looking to go global with his family.
Taki was more or less Horiyoshi's liaison to the rest of the world, because Taki could be Horiyoshi's voice.
My time with Horiyoshi came to somewhat of an abrupt end. It happened shortly after I watched my father die of cancer, and just emotionally and responsibility-wise, I just couldn't do it anymore. And I've been criticized for that from some people. It's the tattoo world, so never to my face, of course. My answer would be like, well, if you've served 10 years in a family, then maybe we can discuss it.
In Japan, they would have an apprentice, and that apprentice owed you until the end of your life. You gave them a life, a way to provide for them and their family, and then they have to provide for you.
As far as Horitomo and myself, I think we had just developed this bond of friendship, and we were already working together out here in America together. And so it's kind of natural that he'd stay out here.
To be an artist in a country where most people are like, oh God, that's the worst. Or like, you're all degenerates, you should be locked up, you shouldn't be allowed to do what you're doing. It's tough.
彫り師として日本での彫り師としてのこれから自分の未来があんまり良くないと思うようになったんです。それでターキーに電話してそのことを伝えたら快く僕のビザのサポートをしてくれることを約束してくれました。それでお世話になっている3代目堀吉先生のところを辞めるのはちょっと申し訳ないっていう気持ちもあったんだけど、弟子を辞めてアメリカに移住しました。
Well, I think inherent in the Japanese learning structure there is a sense of tradition and breaking tradition. I think with all tattooing, you learn your master's style in the hopes that you'll sort of go to create your own world later. I can't express enough how honored I am to have been chosen to curate such a monumental exhibit. Perseverance is the closest English translation of the Japanese word gaman. And I think every tattooer in the room, every client with a Japanese tattoo knows that feeling, the chugging along through the pain, you work through the fatigue, blood, sweat, maybe some tears. But really, Japanese tattoos must be earned and you must persevere. About 5 years ago, the Japanese American National Museum were interested in doing a show about Japanese tattooing. And this was something that we felt that no museum in Japan would ever approach.
It was groundbreaking for the Japanese American community, just because tattooing is so taboo.
The general perception of tattoos in Japan is that they're criminal.
僕がもともと92年3年に始めた時ももちろんアンダーグラウンドであんまり温泉入れないとかね、なんか服長袖着て隠すとか、その時はまだもうちょっと雰囲気が良かった。2001年かに政府からそういう皮膚に針に色紙をつけて彫る行為は医療行為でやっちゃダメだって医師免許を持ってないとっていうのが出て通達があって。
In 2015, they've arrested people using that law. And so he feels that's all the more reason that when he's out here, he needs to make a louder noise.
日本の入れ墨やその日本の入れ墨の柱となる日本文化をこのアメリカで広めることを僕の使命としてミッションとしてやっていこうと思っています。これ今描いてる猫に入れ墨が入ってるみたいな絵なんだけど、モンモンキャットっていう。
This is amazing.
Thank you. モンモンキャットをやるその僕の大きな目的が日本の入れ墨に興味ない人がそういう日本の入れ墨に好きになるきっかけになってもらえればと思ってやってるから。
Momo cats evolved years ago. Horitomo was obsessed with cats, and he started drawing all these cats. We realized that, okay, we need to make some books, prints, shirts, things like that. And that quickly went out of control. Molly was like spending a lot of time shipping everything out. And it got to the point where we needed to get into real manufacturing. So we've done that. We've actually taken that to a company level. I'm obviously one of Horitomo's biggest fans, and I just like seeing his stuff out there.
Where's the cat?
My cat?
Yeah.
It's a bedroom.
Oh, okay.
She's very shy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Tomo, coming out here, and Taki really, helping Tomo promote his career here and start it in the United States. I feel like they have this relationship that is very special.
Horitomo and I have worked complementary and been very symbiotic since the day we met. Within the family, too, we sort of knew our roles. He was like the big art guy, and I was more the spokesperson. With every event that I've spoken at, what I've noticed is that we'll get people that would never walk into a tattoo shop, but here was a safe space where they can look at this stuff, and the response was overwhelmingly positive. I do believe tattoos are art. I don't think we're like any other type of art out there, but I do believe we do have a place in the art world and the museum world.
なんていうのかな、外国にいる僕がこうやって広めていくことはいいことじゃないかなと思って。こっち来てアンダーグラウンドでやってたら意味がない。
I was told by my ex-master a long time ago, don't chase money or fame, just do good tattoos. And if you do good work, everything else will fall into place. And I think that's essentially what we were doing, is we're just trying to, make good tattoos and not worrying too much about the rest of it.